Women and child welfare. Why it is required to discuss about women and child welfare? We all know that women and child are also the part of society, and if we try to see the role in the field of environment, or if we try to analyze the role through the aspect of environmental aspect, we will come to know how much important are women and children. We know that women are, say, like backbone of the family, and the traditional or cultural knowledge in any child comes from mother or grandmother. So when an woman is educated, the children will be definitely educated. And at the child age, if a person is well known to the environmental concepts, for entire life he or she will follow the rules, act for preservation, conservation, avoid over exploitation, and play a very important role in preservation and conservation of natural resources or environmental components. That is why it is very important to discuss women and child welfare. So, women are part of the environment. Women have direct relationship with their immediate environment. Regularly, they collect water, fuel wood, foods like nuts, fruits, leaves, roots, etc. Women regularly with the flora and fauna of that region by living with them. It is well known, especially in the tribal communities or the rural communities. Men go for work, for job. Women are the persons who are for a long time connected to the local environment, connected to the biodiversity, connected to the ecosystem, local ecosystem. How? Because for entire day they are engaged in several activities related to the nature or close to the nature, like collecting water, collecting fuel wood, foods like nuts, fruits, leaves, roots, etc. So it is accepted that compared to men, women are much closer to local environment. Secondly, women as a social category perform multiple roles. Certain roles have been recognized universally. The physical differentiation between men and women necessitates certain social arrangements for procreation and rearing of their children. This is very important as we know that women as a social category perform multiple roles. Certain roles have been recognized universally. The physical differentiation between men and women necessitates certain social arrangements for procreation and rearing of children. Man created practices and customs which tied women to motherhood in a familial social responsibility. Man created practices and customs which tied women to motherhood in a familial social responsibility, which has a set of norms that were created to curb her freedom creative potential and suppress her in society. So these things are very common where in such societies where male are dominating. As of Indian scenario, at not at all places, but at several locations, several regions, similar kind of situation can be observed. So women experience depending syndrome, particularly dependency on father during childhood, dependency on the husband in adulthood, and dependency on the son in the old age. So this is the mental status, and this is the say cultural practice being practiced in India, also in many countries from several years, like women dependency syndrome, especially when they are dependency on the father during childhood, dependency on the husband in adulthood, and dependency on the son in the old age. This made her position subordinate to man and easy exploitation. Women bear and rear children, but no proper care for her role of motherhood is given to her. So it is very important when we see this scenario through environmental perspectives, we find that rearing a child in rearing of child, mother plays a very important role. Therefore, knowledge of environment in mother is highly recommended. Awareness of awareness regarding several environmental components, local ecosystem, biodiversity is compulsory for a woman so that she may convey her knowledge to the child and the child starting from the early age he or she will be well known to environmental concepts. Neglect of mother and motherhood lead to maternity death in human custom of female in insecticide, etc. Because of poor stimulation of living and economic backwardness, women suffer from nutritional deficiency, especially during pregnancy and lactation. So it is necessary that their women should be educated to bring them out and should be provided with proper training to create suitable awareness and insight into the new demands in the physical and social environment. So it is very necessary that women should be educated to bring them out of the previous thinking, earlier beliefs, cultures, and should be provided with proper training to create suitable awareness and insight into the new demands in the physical and social environment. Women welfare and development. Even though the first five 5-year plans were focusing on women's welfare, only from the sixth 5-year plan that was initiated from 1980 to 1985 onwards, women were recognized as separate target group involving development planning activities. The 1991 census revealed that women constitute 48.1% of the country's population. Hence, it is understood that for the development of the nation, backwardness of women has to be taken care. Women rights and privileges. The Constitution of India not only guarantees equality of women but also empowers states to adopt measures of positive discrimination in favors of women in order to overcome their disadvantages in socio-economic, educational, and political fields. There are many articles in the Constitution specifically encourages the development of women in the society are mentioned on next slide. These are the different articles given in our Constitution, Indian Constitution. Article 14 states that equal rights and opportunities for men and women in the political, economic, and social spheres should be given. Article 15 states prohibits discrimination against any citizen on the grounds of religion, caste, and sex. So it is prohibited to discriminate any citizen on the grounds of religion, caste, and sex. Article 15.3 says to make a special provision enabling the state to make positive discrimination in favor of women. Article 15A(e) says that condemn the practices derogatory to the dignity of women. So these are very important articles which favors the upliftment of women at the same time restricts the discrimination among the society related to women development, women's role. Article 16 says provides for equal opportunities in matter of public appointments. Article 39A states that state shall direct its policy towards securing all citizens, men and women equally, the right to means of livelihood. Article 39C confirms that equal pay for equal work. Article 42 directs the state to provide the citizens with just and human conditions at work and maternity relief. What are the policies concerning women's development in India? There are various policies advocating women's welfare and development that has been evolved by the government. Some of them are given here and will be discussed. First one is the National Plan of Action for Women, that is NPA, in year 1976. Second is the National Perspective Plan for Women, NPP, that was initiated in 1988 to 2000. Third one is Shram Shakti in the year 1988. The National Nutritional Policy NNP in 1993. The National Plan and Action for the Girl Child NPA 1991 to 2000. National Commission for Women's Act in 1990. So these are the policies which advocates women welfare and development in our country. Child welfare and development. The future of a nation depends on the way in which The children are growing nutritionally, educationally, as well as socially. Many children suffer from malnutrition and die for want of human immunization. Thus, the national policy for children was formulated in the year 1974. The national policy for children was formulated in the year 1974 after seeing that many children were suffering from malnutrition, lack of immunization, and several other uh, basic requirements were not satisfied. We know that children are a supremely important asset of any nation. Children are a supreme important asset of the nation. Therefore, it is the duty of the state to provide adequate services to the children both before and after birth and through the period of growth. Provision of early childhood services, especially to the weaker and more vulnerable section of the community, could help prevent or minimize infant mortality, morbidity, malnutrition, and stagnation in schools. India has the world's largest integrated child development services, that is ICDS program, that was started in the year 1975, which involves supplementary nutrition, immunization, healthcare, growth monitoring, preschool education, and health and education. ICDS provides health checkup services like antenatal care for pregnant women, postnatal care for nursing mothers, and health care for children less than 6 years of age. Children less than 6 years in the village are periodically examined, weighted, immunized at prescribed times, and treated for ailments. Provision for nutrition and health education has been made for women, that is 40-45 years of age, with priority given to pregnant and lactating mothers. ICDS provides with facilities like Foundation for Personality, reduction of deprivation, effective coordination for policy implementation, maternity and motherhood care through education and healthcare. According to Indian Constitution, that free and compulsory education for all children would be provided until they complete the age of 14 years. There has been special emphasis in monitoring the dropouts in primary education. National Policy for Children. The children population of India is nearly 300 million, and the majority of the children live under socially and economically underprivileged conditions that can lead to deterioration of the child's physical and mental development. The National Policy for Child (NPC) 1974 was founded on the conviction that child development programs can ensure equally of opportunity to the poor children. Organization towards child welfare. UN Conventions on Rights of Child or international law. It formulated a set of international standards and measures to promote and protect the well-being of children in our society. The rights of the child. The international law defines the right of the child to survival, participation, development, and protection. The right to survival, it emphasizes on good standards of living, good nutrition and health. The right to participation, it means freedom of thought and appropriate information to child. The right to development, it ensures access to education, childhood care and support, social security and recreation. The right to protection, it means freedom from exploitation in human treatment and neglect. World Summit on Child. It had focused agenda for the well-being of the child targeted to be achieved in the beginning of the new millennium. Ministry of Human Resource Development (MHRD). It concentrates on child's health, education, nutrition, clean and safe drinking water, sanitation and the environment. The role of information technology in environment and human health. Today is an information age and tremendous flow of information is emerging in all fields throughout the world. Information in this competitive era is more precious than life, and without information, we cannot live at all. India is endowed with rich natural resources while facing the problems of poverty, illiteracy, population growth, environmental degradation, etc. It is creating new possibilities to tackle these problems. Information technology has tremendous potential in the field of environmental education and health as in any other field. Development of internet facilities, World Wide Web, geological information system, GLS, and information through satellites has generated a wealth of up-to-date information on various aspects of environment and health. A number of software have been developed for environment and health which are user-friendly and can help an early learner in knowing and understanding the subject. Nowadays, the volume of data being generated from the environment is increasing manifold. The whole process of data collection, storage, processing and retrieve has become an easy task due to computerization, speed, and reduced work through automation of many tasks. What are the applications of IT in global environment? One of the important fields of IT for environmental studies is geometrics. Geometrics is a science and technology for collecting, analyzing, interpreting, distributing, and using geographic information. Geometrics involves the following: surveying and mapping, remote sensing, geographic information system, global positioning system. One of the important applications of IT in the study of global environment is the satellite remote sensing technology. Satellite remote sensing technology helps in the evolution of its data and interpretation, offer potentially valuable information for assessing human dimensions of global environmental changes are grouped into five major categories: fossil fuel consumption, biomass consumption, land use change, agricultural activities, hollow carbon production and release. These five categories of interactions has created concern about the possible effects on the global physical, chemical and biological systems. The extraordinary large scale in land use is frequently accompanied by changes in land cover, i.e., forest and vegetation, that can cause ecological imbalance. Satellite remote sensing technologies that provide satellite image data intervals which can be interpreted to study the land surfaces at repetitive intervals allow mapping and monitoring of changes in land cover of various types, amount arrangement and the rate of change. Satellite image and assess plan of global change, research and the implementation of methodologies that contribute to a global understanding of human and which relates to land cover. The remote sensing technology using satellite also play a major role in the environmental studies of water bodies such as lakes, rivers, estuaries, etc., as well as ocean and coastal areas. The major techniques for deriving information like image interpretation, digital image classification, data transformation, change detection, remote satellite sensors, US Landsat Multispectral Scanner (MSS), French SPOT, Indian Remote Sensing Satellite. The Environment Information System, the ENVIS, was started by MOEF in 1982 as a decentralized information network for collection, storage, retrieval, and dissemination environmental information. And this network currently consists of the role of information technology in human health. Information technology plays a key role in human health. It has changed the human lifestyle completely. Many health organizations are turning to package solution of IT, streamlined oriented systems. They are finance and accounting, pathology, patent administration, clinical systems. Application of IT in field services. With the help of IT packages, the data regarding birth and death rates, immunization, and sanitation programs are maintained more accurately. It helps the doctors to monitor the health of the people effectively. Tools like CT scan, ultrasound sonography uses IT for diagnosis. The information regarding the outbreak of epidemic diseases can be conveyed easily. Online help of expert doctors can be consulted to provide better treatment and services to the patient through video conferencing. With central control system, the hospital can run effectively. Most of the ICUs are now using computers to monitor the program and condition of the patient undergoing treatment. Drugs and its replacement can be administered very effectively and efficiently. Wasteland reclamation. Loss of vegetation cover leads to loss of soil erosion, which ultimately creates wastelands. This is one of the pressing problems of the country. Loss of soil has already ruined a large amount of cultivable land in our country. If it remains unchecked, it will affect the remaining land. We may eventually face a serious shortage of food grains, vegetables, fruit, fodder, and fuel wood. Hence, conservation of soil, protecting the existing cultivable land, and reclaiming the already depleted wastelands figures prominently among the priority tasks of planning for the future. What are the classifications of wasteland? Generally, three classifications are there: easily reclaimable, reclaimable with some difficulty, reclaimable with extreme difficulty. Easily reclaimable wasteland can be used for agricultural purposes. Those which can be reclaimed with some difficulty can be utilized for agroforestry. Wastelands that are reclaimed with extreme difficulty can be used for forestry or to recreate natural ecosystems. Methods of wasteland reclamation for different purpose. For agriculture, wasteland can be reclaimed for agriculture by reducing the salt content, which can be done by leaching and flushing. Gypsum, urea, potash, and compost are added before planting crops in such areas. Agroforestry. This involves putting land to multiple uses. Its main purpose is to have trees and crops inter or underplanted to form an integrated system of biological production within a certain area. Thus, agroforestry implies integration of trees with agricultural crops or livestock management simultaneously. Third is forestry. Attempts to grow trees in highly non-alkaline saline soils have been largely unsuccessful. Field experiments have shown that species like eucalyptus, prosopis, and Acacia nilotica could not be grown in highly alkaline soil. Studies have shown that if tree seedlings are planted with a mixture of original soil, gypsum, and manure, better growth can be achieved. It is, however, important to use indigenous species of trees so that the problem recreates the local ecosystem with all its species. Need for wasteland development. Wasteland development provides a source of income for the rural people. It ensures a constant supply of fuel, fodder, and timber for local use. It makes the soil fertile by preventing soil erosion and conserving moisture. The program helps maintain an ecological balance in the area. The increasing forest cover helps in maintaining local climatic conditions. Regenerated vegetation cover helps in attracting birds which feed on pests in the surrounding fields and function as natural pest collectors. Trees help in holding back moisture and reduce surface runoff rates, thus helping in the control of soil erosion. Components of wasteland reclamation. The first major task is the identification of the problem at the micro level. The next step is to identify the factors that are responsible for the formation of wastelands. Based on these factors, the wasteland is classified into marginally, partially, or severely deteriorated lands. Another essential component of the program is to organize publicity campaigns integrated with training of farmers and frontline government and forest department staff on the various aspects of wasteland utilization. Consumerism and waste products. Consumerism is related to the constant purchasing of new goods with little attention to their true need, durability, product origin, or the environmental consequences of their manufacture and disposal. Modern societies that are based on using large amount of goods, especially those that are manufactured for one-time use, are extremely wasteful. Increasing consumption of natural resources has led to serious environmental problems worldwide. Current consumption patterns are depleting non-renewable resources, poisoning and degrading ecosystems, and altering natural processes on which life depends. India is rapidly moving into this unsustainable pattern of economic growth and development. The rich get richer, often at the cost of the poor, whose lives are not improved by the process of development. An estimated study says 200 billion cans, bottles, and paper cups are thrown away each and every year in the developed world. Disposable items greatly increase this waste. Rather than compete on quality or reliability, many industrial consumer products are made for one-time use. Buying quality products that are warranted against failure or wearing out, learning about the raw materials that things are made of, and an appreciation of their origin from nature's storehouse, as well as knowing the conditions of the workers that make them, are some ways of resisting consumerism and decreasing waste. Most human activities are related to production and consumption cycles, which produces excessive amounts of waste in the form of solid, liquid, and gaseous waste products. This attitude towards waste has led to disastrous effect on the environment besides over-exploiting natural resources. There is a principle of triple R, that is reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle, or the three R's principle, is the new concept in waste management. But what does it actually mean? Although some waste is inevitable in any society, so we must minimize the generation of waste at the source by using minimum resources. Do not use what you do not need. The goal of every society should be to reach a low waste or no waste society. There are few suggestions for better waste management. Every country must survey all the different forms of waste generation along with its sources. They must set up priorities concerning waste utilization. Most waste can be converted to resources which can enhance the economy of the country. Plans should be prepared for controlling waste at the source. This must include segregation of wet and dry waste, where the wet waste can be converted to compost and used, and the dry waste is recycled. So we must start thinking about 3R principle, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. We must use the things very wisely. The things which are not of much use, we should avoid it or reduce it. We should try to purchase and use especially those materials which are reusable. We must also try to use those products which are recyclable. So this can be a major step towards managing waste, less waste generation, and it will be environment friendly activity. Waste generation survey should be done for each and every country to know what are the major source, point and non-point source of pollution in order to make appropriate plan, appropriate strategies to minimize the pollution from entire country. Next is research and development programs to find innovative methods of waste recycling must be encouraged. Uneconomical methods of waste disposal like landfilling or incineration must be reduced to a minimum. Plans for appropriate disposal of non-utilizable hazardous waste from chemical industries must be implemented and strictly monitored. Every community should organize extensive program on education and demonstration on the reduction of waste and the proper disposal and effective reutilization of waste material. This should be included in the curriculum at school and college level also. Every society should make efforts to design people's lifestyle and cultural patterns based on low waste production. The goal of every society should be to reach a low waste or no waste society.